In my address of the 18th of March, I had directed the health authorities to allow people, Ugandans and non-Ugandans, coming into the country from abroad, from even the Category 1 countries. Category 1 countries are those countries which have got a big number of these infected people, as well as other countries. Partly due to the indiscipline of some of the people, we have now decided to review that position and tighten preventive measures. This is because we are spending a lot of time trying to police these people, some of whom are not well behaved, wasting a lot of our time, wasting the time of our health workers and security personnel, instead of cooperating and making the work easy. Consequently, we have decided to take the following additional measures. These are measures additional to the 13 which I put out on Wednesday. Some of these measures will modify what I said on Wednesday. Number one, to prohibit all incoming passengers, whether by air, land, or water. Abasabaze, whether they are in the air, on the water, or on the road. I don't know whether the ones on foot are called Wasabaze or walkers, travelers who come on foot. Those are not passengers, those are walkers, abajenzi. All those, we are not going to allow them in. In order to actualize this, we have decided to prohibit all passenger planes coming from outside Uganda from landing at any of the airports of Uganda. Only cargo planes will be allowed to fly into and out of Uganda. Cargo planes carrying goods with only a pilot and crew members. Those are easier to monitor. So these are the only ones we are going to allow. Also to be allowed in are the planes on account of emergency. If a plane is flying overhead and it develops an engine problem, you cannot stop it from landing. It's against international law. It will land, and even if it has people, we shall see how to handle those. Or planes which are involved in UN operations. But those operations would be agreed with our sector people, the mandated authorities, the security and the Ministry of Health. And the pilots of those planes, the cargo and the UN planes, will be accommodated in agreed places, agreed with the mandated authorities in Uganda, mainly the health authorities, working with the security people. Domestic flights will continue for now. For now, the domestic flights, since we don't yet have cases inside, although sitting in a plane is not a good idea because that's how people exchange breathing. But because we don't have any cases yet, we can allow domestic flights for now. Once we get any case, we may have to stop that also. In conformity with international law, this prohibition of incoming passenger planes will come into force 24 hours from midnight to night. That is to say, on the 21st of March 2020. The 22nd, so it will come into force on the 22nd. Tonight, 21st of March 2020, but the order will come into effect on the 22nd midnight, which is tomorrow midnight. So that is measure number one. No passenger planes, no human movement entering Uganda or leaving Uganda except for cargo drivers and their support staff, the ones who are handling cargo of planes, by planes or by trucks. The one of trucks is number two. Number two, pending the evolving of an East African health response plan to the pandemic by the East African Ministers of Health. We are trying to see whether we can coordinate the East African Ministers of Health. His Excellency Paul Kagame, who is our chairperson, I'm sure he's working on that. But pending that, while we are waiting for that East African coordinated plan, no person, Ugandan or otherwise, will be allowed to enter Uganda by land or water. I'm talking of land or water because I've already talked about the planes. The planes is what I talked about in number one above. So I'm now only talking about land or water, except for the drivers and accompanying crews, not exceeding 3 in number, for cargo transport vehicles, such as trailers, lorries, and other cargo vehicles, maybe even pickups, because they can be used to carry things. No buses, no minibuses, no saloon cars, no border borders will be allowed in the country. Also, pedestrians will not be allowed. People who are walking on foot or those riding bicycles will not be allowed to enter Uganda or to enter Uganda by road, path, or water. Nor will they be allowed to exit by those means, because it's not only entering, it is also leaving. The problem is that if you leave, even if you are a Ugandan, you are now going to burden us by trying to come back. So that's why we say, please postpone all those plans of yours.